For this first set of problems, we are solving each equation for y, and then for each equation, we're going to state the growth and the y-intercept, and then we're going to graph our equation. So for the first one, we want to get y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So those are going to cancel out. I'm going to get y equals 5x minus 3. I don't have to divide by anything, so my growth is going to be 5. My y-intercept is negative 3, and I could write it as an ordered pair if I want to. Either way is fine. So that means I'm going to start my graph at negative 3. So right here. And then I'm going to go up 5 and to the right 1. Now I should go down 5 and left 1. So my graph is going to look like that. For the next one, the first thing I'm going to do is distribute negative 2. So I'm going to get negative 10x plus 6y equals negative 6 plus 2y. I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides. So I'm going to get negative 10x plus 4y equals negative 6. Then I'm going to add 10x to both sides. So I'm going to get 4y equals 10x minus 6, and then divide everything by 4. So y equals, so 10 divided by 4 is going to be 5 over 2x, minus, it's going to be 3 over 2x, because I'm going to simplify 6/4. So my growth is going to be 5 over 2. And my y-intercept is going to be negative 3 over 2, or negative 1.5. So I'm going to start my graph. This one's a little bit different. Negative 1.5. So it'd be between the two lines. And then my growth is 5 over 2, which means I'll go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2, which we haven't really talked about yet. So expect the problems that are on your test to have whole numbers as the growth and the y-intercept. Okay. Problem number 2, you're going to solve for x. So in the first problem, I'm going to distribute my negative 5. So I get negative 10x minus 20 equals negative 8x plus 16. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides. So I'm going to get negative 2x minus 20 equals 16. I'm going to add 20 to both sides. So I'm going to get negative 2x equals 32 and divide by negative 2. So I get x equals negative 16. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I made a slight error. I want to double check my work. This is a 36, not a 32. So when I divide by 2, I actually get 18. Negative 18. So I want to make sure that you're checking your work. For part B, first I'm going to combine 5x and minus x. So I get 6x minus 14 equals 6x. Sorry, equals 4x. Plus 10, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So I get 2x minus 14 equals 10. Add 14 to both sides. So I get 2x equals 24. Divided by 2, I'm going to get x equals 12. Problem C, I have to use fraction busters. So I'm going to multiply everything by 8. So I'm going to get 24 negative over 2x minus 40 over 8 equals 8 over 4. So I'm going to get negative 12x minus 5 equals 2. Add 5 to both sides. So I'm going to get negative 12x equals 7. Divide both sides by negative 12. So x is going to equal negative 7 over 12. And if you wanted to leave it as that, that would be perfectly okay. Or you could change it to decimal. Problem number, or D, I'm going to multiply everything by 100, so it moves the decimal points over. You don't have to, but you can. It makes it a little easier to do. So I'm going to get 75x minus 15x minus 200 equals negative 500 plus 10x. So then I combine like terms. So over here, I'm going to get 60x minus 200 equals negative 500 plus 10x. Subtract 10x from both sides. So I'm going to get 50x minus 200 equals negative 500. Add 200 to both sides. 50x equals negative 300. Divide both sides by 50. So I get x equals negative 6. So for the next problem, I have to graph both equations and then try to figure out where they meet. So it says graph two equations on a coordinate plane below. Y equals 7 minus 3x and y equals 2x minus 8. So the 7 minus 3x, I'm going to do two different colors. I'm going to start at positive 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be right here. And my growth or slope is negative 3. So that means I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1. Or I can go up 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put as many dots as I possibly can because it'll be easier for me to see where the solution is. Okay. So there's my first graph. So then I'm going to change colors to do 2x minus 8. So I'm going to start at negative 8. Which will be right here. And my growth is positive 2 up to right 1. So I can already see that my line crosses at right here, which is 3, negative 2. So it says, what's the solution? So that's actually my solution. And for part A, it says, where is the solution? And we want to say where the two lines cross is what you're looking for. Problem number 4, it says Misha and Nora want to buy season passes for ski lift, but neither of them has $225. Neither to purchase a pass. Nora decides to get a job that pays $4 each week, and Misha already has $80 and plans to save $15 of her allowance. So write two equations that represent each girl. So Nora, we have to multiply by 4 to figure it out. So she's actually making $25 every week. So y equals 25x. And then Misha has $80 and it's 15 each week. So she's going to be 15x plus 80. So it says, what do the variables represent? So in this problem, x represents the number of weeks and y is going to be our money. Use Desmos to graph each girl's equation. When will they have the same amount? So I graphed both in Desmos and ended up with 8 weeks. My answer. And then it says, who will be able to purchase a pass first? Explain how I know. So the answer is Nora, because it takes her 9 weeks. And it takes Misha it's in the Desmos, this is like 9.87, so she would actually not have all of her money until week 10. The last column, it says, are any of the following ordered pairs solutions to the system? Circle any that are and show your work to prove. So in order to do this, I actually just plugged each one in, each equation, to see if it worked. So for the first one, I'm going to plug in negative 5 and 2. So I get 2 times negative 5 plus 2 equals 0. And I get negative 10. So I get negative 8, which is not equal to 0. So if it doesn't work for the first equation, it won't work for this. It doesn't matter because it's not a solution. So B, I plugged in 3 to the first So 2 times 3 plus 0 equals 0. That's going to be 6. So it doesn't work in the first equation, so I can eliminate it. Problem, or part C, so 2 times 1 plus negative 2 equals 0. So 2 minus 2, which is 0, which is true. So it worked for the first point, first equation, so then I plug it into the second one. So negative 1 plus 2 times negative 2 equals 5. So I get negative 1 plus negative 4, which is negative 5. So that one doesn't work either. So D, I'm going to plug in 4, 5. So 2 times 4 plus 5 equals 0. So I'm going to be at 8 plus 5, which is 13, not equal to 0. So this one doesn't work either. So the answer is actually none. So none of them are correct.